How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about FuboTV. You guys know how much I love this stock. When we got into this play and I said to load the boat, it was around $17. And of course, we've been making some gains, but I think it's time for an update video. So before we get started, of course, we got to go over an agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We also want to know areas of support. We do know that it is earnings seasons, so what can we look forward to in regards to, is FUBO going to be running up when it does get momentum? Some areas you need to take a look at, all right? And then secondly, we're going to be taking a look at Fintel at the short interest information. We want to know how many shorts are actually vested in this play. Why does it matter? Because if we get a lot of buying volume or we get a certain catalyst, then we can look forward to seeing strong moves to the upside. And then what we're going to be doing, we are going to be taking a look at the order flow, and I'm also going to be breaking down the shareholder ownership. And part of the reasons why I want to share this with you guys, you get to see a breakdown of who the shareholders actually are. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts. So let's jump to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for FuboTV. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So we can see here it closed at $26.72, being up 1.10%. On the low, it tested $25.59, and then on the high, testing $27.18. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, we can see we traded at 5.737 million shares. As far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, it's around 5.899 million shares. So this is a little below average, but at the most, we can see there was some buying going on because we ended up seeing some upside in the FUBO stock. Now, when we take a look at our indicators on the chart, you could see here it's at 46.37. So yes, it's right in the middle, but it's still, as we could say, in the oversold territory. When we take a look now at the indicators on the chart, one thing that is great to see, we're showing strength above the 100-day. We are below the 21-day EMA, and as far as for the 200-day is concerned, we're also below that as well. So what I want to see us actually continue to use this 100-day as support. So if we continue to use it as support, which we've shown to do this inside of the past, then of course I'm looking forward to seeing FUBO make that move to $28. We got to $27.18 on the Friday. So as far as going into next week, of course this will be an area to keep an eye on, because I feel if we could pass this area, we could easily get to 28. And this is where I feel like we'll end up seeing some resistance here. If we end up having even more buying volume, then of course I'm looking forward for a strong move going to 29. Keep in mind, they do have earnings coming out on August the 10th, and that's part of the reasons why I'm saying, you know what, things could start looking bullish for FUBO very soon, quickly here leading up to that earnings. So taking everything into consideration, we know those areas of resistance are definitely going to be at that $28 level, and we're also looking for a strong move to make a push above that $29 level, because if we could do that, then I'm definitely looking forward to getting around to this 32 level, and then we'd have to wait and see what would happen. But I'm looking forward to seeing this particular type of movement leading up into the earnings. If it does decide to pull back, you guys know I believe in the long-term prospects of FUBO. So even if it goes around 24, I feel like, hey, that's a great way to start dollar cost averaging your way in. When I first got into this, I told many of you about this, was around this $17 range, all right? It got even below that, so you could have added it as well. But as far as where it could pull back, 24 bucks, keep an eye on it. And as far if it decides to go back even further, maybe if they get bad news around earnings or something like that, then I'll be looking around this $22 level as well. But I feel like, you know what, earnings should be good. Hey, we had some good promising numbers in the last. Yes, we didn't end up meeting expectations, but I'm looking forward to seeing some big things. So we're on Fintel. We're going to take a look at the short interest information for FuboTV. So we can see the short volume ratio being here at 15.30%. Now, as we scroll down on the page, the short shares availability is at 3.2 million, updated 29 minutes ago. And as far as for the short ball fee rate, it's at 0.84%. Now, as we scroll down, we're going to be taking a look at the history of the short volume ratio. So technically, as as we can see here, as the close of July the 23rd, according to FINRA, the short volume ratio is actually at 32.67%. So of course, FUBO does have short squeeze potential, and a lot different from the number that we see up here at 15.30. So definitely looking forward to seeing some strong price action in FUBO, but do keep in mind this is going to be dependent on buying pressure, especially leading up to earnings. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for FuboTV. So we can see here on the inflow we have 26, and on the outflow we have 26 as well. We have 0 on the large, 17 on the medium, 9 on the small. As far as for the outflow side, we have 1 on the large, 18 on the medium, and 8 on the small. As far as for the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see definitely been some outflows. So out of the 5 days, we have 3 outflow days, and also being on the 22nd and as well as the 23rd, but we only had 1 inflow day back on the 20th. So taking everything into consideration here, again, this goes back to what I've been saying in previous videos. We see a lot of institutions are moving their money out of these small and medium cap growth stocks and putting it into the bigger caps, rewarding them in regards to how well they've been doing during earnings season. So now let's go quickly into the shareholder ownership. So taking a look at the shareholder breakdown. So we have institutions that own 31.54%. We have corporations that own 16.66%. And as far as for insiders, they own 8.46%. And as far as for retail investors, they own 43.34%. So this is definitely great to see overall as a breakdown among shareholders. So we see institutions are heavily vested in FUBO stock. And these are one of the things that you want to look forward to, especially when you're holding growth plays. And these are part of the reasons why I have a lot of conviction in FUBO. But again, this is only taking into consideration the stock itself, not taking into account as far as the potential that I see in the company in regards to their business operations and how well they've been doing. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for FuboTV, I'm definitely going to continue to hold this stock down. Like I was saying, we've been up big time on this channel for all the originals who were able to get into the play in the $17 range. Even though I was getting a lot of negativity and a lot of flack for calling out that price area, hey, this is part of the reasons why when it comes to growth stocks, you want to be patient when it comes to building out your position. I always talk about when you want to build out your position, you want to use a dollar cost averaging approach. Buy the stock when it's going through those dips or while it's pulling back or during corrections. Those are the best times so you can experience a run up. And we've already seen FUBO run up quite a bit already, going up and down, doing those hills and valleys. And I know many of you were able to swing trade it as well. But taking everything into consideration on top of that, we also see that because there's also a lot of shorts who are vested in this play. And we saw that on Fintel. And it's no surprise because we've seen a lot of money coming out of the small, medium cap growth stocks going into the big cap stocks that have been killing it throughout earnings seasons. So taking this into consideration, this is why I feel like there's opportunities to take advantage of. So if you want to get into an entry position, please use the dollar cost averaging approach. The next thing that I want to go over, we already know FUBO has a lot of catalysts that are going to be coming up, but I must say the biggest one is them launching their sports book in Q4. I feel like that's really going to bring the stock price, making some serious moves to the upside, and I wouldn't be shocked to see it go into the $40 range, even going into that particular period, and also when that catalyst comes out. And we also, when we take a look at the analyst price targets overall in general, I think it's around $38, $36. But again, we also have some high price targets that project a lot higher than that. But as you heard, especially right here on this channel, I'm looking forward to seeing FUBO being just under $50 in Q4, or maybe a little bit lower, but it really doesn't matter because these are one of these stocks that I'm going to be holding for a very long time. And what do I mean by that? For at least 2 to 3 years. Of course, be taking some profits along the way because I'm always continually adding on dips, but I just want you guys to be aware of that. Whenever there's a play that you have and you have a lot of high conviction, you've done your homework, you've done your due diligence, and you know this company has the ability to get it done 5 years from now, build up. That's how you build wealth inside of the stock market. Hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.